Wow, wow, wow. What a game that was. Manchester United 4, Bournemouth 4. That was quite a dramatic game, if I'm being completely honest. Wow. I mean, if I'm a Manchester United fan, I'm very, very, very disappointed in that result. If I'm a Bournemouth fan, I think Bournemouth have they started the season well. They have not ended up playing well in the last few games. I think they haven't won a game in their last five. But you have to see that they showed their heart in this game. But if I'm a United fan, I'm very, very disappointed in that game. Because what do you mean? You led 1-0, you led 2-1, you led four some was it 3-3, no, it was 4-3, you led 4-3 at some point, and somehow you managed to draw this game. They nearly lost. They actually nearly lost this game. And honestly, like, I think it was a really, really interesting game for me as a neutral. Actually, as a Liverpool fan, I'm really happy United did not win this game. Unfortunately, they're still ahead of us by goal difference, but I'm happy they didn't win the game. But overall, I think it was a really, really fun game to watch. Like, I was so entertained. I was just laughing all through the game because, like, how has this happened? Like, how were there so many goals in this game? There's one person scoring here, the next minute another person is scoring here, and like some of these goals were quick fire. So it was so much fun to watch, honestly. But what do I honestly think about this game? I think for United, they this is the reason why they're not in the top four right now. I think this is a season where you can really capitalize on people making a lot of mistakes and teams playing below standards. Like, if we're being honest here, you can see that Liverpool are way below standards. That's the reason why they're even below Chelsea, Manchester United, Man City, Arsenal, the teams that you should expect Liverpool to be competing with or above right now, they're below. And then Chelsea haven't also been fantastic this season. So this is a time for teams to take advantage of these things. But United are not doing that. They are not. And the funny thing is, I think overall they're playing way better than they were last season. Like, they are currently sixth on the table or seventh on the table. So they should objectively be looking at top four, but they just seem to find ways to not get the points. I think in their last three home games, they've only gotten 2 points. That's two draws and a loss. So that's not good enough for them at all. Um, so let me just tell you what I think about the whole game. I mean, it was a very good start for United. I think in the first 25 minutes, they had like 10 shots, like three on target. And Bournemouth had no shot like, no shot at all, not even on target. Like, they had no shots in this game for the first 25 minutes. And it was a relatively easy goal for Ahmad. The keeper wasn't able to clear his lines, and then Ahmad, simple header to get the ball in. Easy goal for Ahmad Diallo, and a nice one to get just before leaving United for AFCON. And then suddenly the game changes. I don't know what was happening with Shaw. Like, he just got bodied off the ball, and it's like, bro, you should be stronger than that. You are a built man. There's no reason why you should be getting bodied off the ball just like that. And then I think Heaven did not do too well in that instance, because you could see Mount calling for him to come put pressure on this guy. Like, he just kept on running. Like, Semenyo kept on running, and he just finished. Beautiful finish as well. Nothing much that Laments could do about that one. And I was looking at that and I was like, okay, maybe this is how this is going to end. And then Casemiro, completely free. And I'm not sure what Petrovic was doing. It just went through his hands. And 2-1, United are leading at halftime. And there's this United record where they don't lose any game where they're leading at halftime in the Premier League. I think that's been a record since 1984, which is quite an impressive record, if we're being honest. Like, that is quite a good record to hold. And then the second half starts, and immediately it starts, you see Evan Nilsson go through, like, beautiful pass just through the lines, and he just had a fantastic finish, hit the bar as well, and then went in. And just a few minutes later, they're running through the midfield again. Like, United just looked so open. Like, this is not what they should be doing. Like, what was the summer recruitment for? What were they supposed to do during the summer? How did they improve? I don't really think United have improved that much. I think other teams are playing really rubbish, if I'm being honest. I don't want to fully discredit United, because I think they have improved, but this is not good enough in my opinion. I think United should have done a lot better. They should probably be maybe close to Aston Villa now, because there's some games that they should have won this season. But you know what? Let's talk about that later. This was a chance, like this was a very good chance, like for Bournemouth. They just went through, and then Casemiro made that foul, which was, and I understand why he made that foul, yellow card, and I think maybe Lamens could have reacted a bit earlier, but at the same time, like it's also difficult. Like it's so easy to criticize, but you have to be honest sometimes and say that it's not that easy. But he's the professional, I'm not, so maybe he should have reacted faster. And then all of a sudden it's 3-2 and United are losing now at home. And then who's scored the third goal for United? It was Bruno. Now I think it was a harsh call. I don't think that was a handball. It was a harsh free kick in my opinion. But that's just it. Like with the rules of the game, you play to the whistle. So if they give that as a foul, it is a foul. But my word, what a free kick from Bruno Fernandes. Now, Bruno, I think he's been going under the radar this season. I think there have been positives and negatives to this midfield role that Amorim has given him, but I'll get to that very soon. And then just minutes later, Cunha puts them 4-3 ahead, and it's like, wow, they've turned this game completely on its head. And when you just think that, okay, United, just go ahead and finish the game, just like settle it and keep it down. They somehow managed to concede. Krupi with a good finish, in my opinion. I think Martinez could have done a bit better about that. Lisandro Martinez was a bit, I think he was a bit slow to react, but it was also a good finish, because if Krupi played it to the other direction, I think maybe Martinez would have had a bit more time to get the ball or get a tackle in, but clearly, fantastic finish. And the honest truth is, United could have actually lost this game. They were really lucky in this game because Lamens made two brilliant stops at the end of the game. Two very brilliant stops at the end of the game. This could have been a loss. But what do I think overall? I think United still have a lot to work on. They have a lot to still work on. Scoring doesn't seem like it's a problem, but they are conceding too many goals. Their defense it's been all over the place, and to be fair to them, they have Maguire injured, they have Delete injured. These are two players that you expect to start in the back three for them, but they're currently out injured. So to be fair to them, they don't have their best backline right now. But you could also see the same. Arsenal didn't have their best backline before, but I think their midfield is exposing them, and the reason I'm saying this is because I look at the profiles of the people playing in that midfield role for them. If you're playing a 3-4-3, you need to make sure that your two midfielders at the middle of the park have to be a lot more solid on the ball. Now, the last team I remember that did very well with the 3-4-3 in the Premier League was Chelsea. And I think they had Kante and Matic or something. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But those were good players on the ball. Kante, everybody knows Kante. It's really hard for you to get the ball away from him. So I think in terms of the profile that they have, in terms of the midfielders, I don't think they have the right midfielders doing that. Now, don't get it twisted. Casemiro is a legend for Madrid, not United. And I don't think he has had the best few games for United in that role. But I think the player who's really being misprofiled the most right now is Bruno. Bruno is a 10, and you'd like to see him attacking more. The funny thing is how he has maybe like 6 goals this season or 6 assists. I'm not sure, but he has a lot of goals and assists. I think he has the most for United this season. So he's still managing to find the goals and assists in these games. But if we're being honest, like, you would probably want to see him play further up the field. So I don't know. I really don't know about that. But one or two things I think about in this game, I think Semenyo could have been sent off. He was very lucky not to get sent off, in my opinion. And the reason I'm saying that is because I've seen Casemiro get sent off for the same thing. Literally, the same thing. And that's the big issue I have with the Premier League in general. There is no consistency. Today something happens in one game, and the next game the same thing happens, and you don't get the same consequence. I can get a red card for doing something today, and then in the next game, literally the next day, somebody does the exact same thing, and they say, oh, something. There's always some sort of description for why it is not given at that time. I just want there to be consistency in this league. This league is very entertaining, but the officiating is terrible. It is absolutely terrible. Now, do I think it would have been harsh? Yes. Do I think Casemiro's red card years ago was harsh? Probably the same, yes. But consistency is the name of the game I'm asking for. But altogether, I have a few questions that I want United fans to actually tell me what they think. How are you guys going to play against Villa without some of your major players? I mean, Casemiro is suspended for this game. I think maybe Mino plays in this game alongside Bruno in midfield. But Ahmad and Mbeumo are going for AFCON. Those are starters for your team. And all of a sudden, you don't have the options to have Ahmad and Mbeumo playing. And that's on the right hand side. So that's a big, big, big change to United. Is it going to affect them a lot? It could, but you want to believe that they probably prepared for this because we always knew AFCON was going to happen in December, so they must have had some sort of plan. So we need to see what Amorim's plans are for that. But altogether, I think United do play well sometimes, but they are the reason, they are the cause of their own downfall. It's like they shot themselves in the foot. There are just too many mistakes. They work so hard to get the goals to go ahead, and then all of a sudden they make some silly mistakes that make them go to make them end up drawing games or losing points in general. And that's not good enough for a team like Manchester United. I know that, yes, they've not had the best few years, but this is a team that should be challenging for the league. And if you keep playing this way, where you work hard and score goals and you just make some silly mistakes that make you lose points, you are not going to get back up there anytime soon. So something needs to change. Something needs to happen. And I don't know what it's going to be. Maybe the right signings. I don't know. Maybe play the right players in each position. Maybe that's it. But altogether, I think United are just too inconsistent to really show us what they really could be like. I think this United team could go 2-2 with any team in the Premier League right now. But they're just way too inconsistent. But that's all I have to say for today. As a Liverpool fan, I'm happy they didn't win this game. But honestly, I think there's a lot to improve for United. Yes, they're not doing too badly. They're doing a lot better than they were last season. But there is a lot to improve. But until next time, I'll see you in the next video. If you like this content, please don't forget to give this video a like. Don't forget to subscribe and share with a friend if you think they would like this content as well. I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.